Hey everyone, this week I took Milotic and Farigiraf to a 148 player online tournament and it went amazing. I expected to see a lot of the usual meta decks like Goldango, Dragapult, and Raging Bolt and felt that this was the right choice as someone who loves to play both rogue decks and control decks. Now then, in case you've never seen this deck before, it revolves around 3 key Pokemon. You have your Farigiraf EX into matchups that are just all basic Pokemon EX. You have your Milotic EX into matchups like Dragapult that are Terra Pokemon. And then you have your Cornerstone Ogerpon into matchups that have Pokemon with abilities. So the whole goal of the deck is to put 2 copies of one of these 3, depending on what matchup you're in, and just having those sit there while you swing away with your attacks, and your opponent's just not able to deal any damage to them. As for our ace spec, in case you were wondering, it is Hero's Cape. It's by far the best one in my opinion for the deck. It makes sure that they don't do any like cheeky shenanigans to get past your ability lock. And the other option that I would recommend if you wanted to play a different ace spec is Secret Box, as a way of just finding things like your TM Evo a little bit easier. Overall, the deck was a lot of fun, and I ended up going 3 wins and 2 losses. Now then, as for the matchups, my round 1 was against a Gardevoir Jellicent, and I won't get into too much details. It was a win, and it's definitely going to be a match that you're going to be seeing in this video. For round 2, I played against Raging Bolt, and that was also a win for me. I was able to get down our Farigiraf EX and get both copies down to be able to lock them out of the game. And then round 3 was against a Dragapult Dusknoir. I'm not going to get too much into this one either, because this is actually going to be the first game that I show you, and I won't tell you whether or not it's a win or a loss. I'll wait until you actually watch the video to see. Overall, it was a very fun game. And then round 4 was against Miraidon EX, and again, we just set up double Farigiraf EX and we're able to just lock them out of the game and not be able to beat us. And then round 5, I got paired into another Dragapult Dusknoir and I lost that match. I bricked from the beginning of that round 5 match and there was just nothing that I could do. And by the time that I was able to get into a way of getting my Feebas's down, I ended up realizing that I had prized my TM Evos, so there was no possible way of getting them into Milotics without him knocking them out first with his already set up Dragapult. Overall, the deck did amazing. I'm definitely going to be taking it to more tournaments in the future, as I love this deck a lot, and I do plan on picking this deck up in paper very soon. And as always, if you like this type of content, I do post every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And if you wouldn't mind, I would love if you could hit that like button and subscribe for more. As I said, I do post those days, and without further ado, I will go on to game number 1. Alright, so for the first game I have for you guys is that Gardevoir Jellicent matchup. So here they won the coin flip, so we had to go first. So we didn't really open up that well. We did at least get to attach an energy for turn to our Cornerstone, so later on we can retreat him. And then they Iono'd us and they gave us a amazing hand right here. So this Arven comes in clutch. We're going to be able to get a Nest Ball off of it and then get the TM Evo, and we can at least get one Farigiraf started. Out of our 3 main attackers in our deck, that's going to be the best one in this matchup. And we're definitely going to want to get that up and running as soon as possible. We also have a Crispin for next turn too, as long as we don't get Iono'd, so we can get a attack on our 3rd turn. Here, we're going to Pokégear. I don't know exactly what I was looking for there, but here we're just going to Arven. We do get the Nest Ball, we do get the TM Evo. We're going to be able to get down a Farigiraf right away. We got the manual attached. We can also just put on our Hero's Cape, which is huge in this matchup too. Makes it that much harder for them to get rid of our attacker. And then we just TM Evo. This way as well, we have no like main trainer cards in our hand that we really are worried about getting turned off. We have the Crispin, which is a supporter that doesn't get turned off by the jellyfish. And I guess that's the main reason why I was probably doing the Pokégear, just to see if we can get a second copy or something like that. Just using the card while I had the chance before it gets turned off. Here they Iono us, which stinks. Oh, but luck is on our side. Look at that. We got double Crispin and a boss, which is amazing here. So we're still going to be able to attack next turn. And here we're just going to start the Crispin. We have both of our Psychics in our deck. We're just going to take that other water real quick. And it doesn't really matter which other energy we took. We just needed at least one Psychic to be able to start swinging here. And we're also going to be able to knock out their Cleffa in the back too, since it only has 30 HP. And that gets us our first 2 prizes. So here we don't really have the luxury of being able to like plan out too much and like play around counter catcher that much. We really want to get like 2 Pokemon really started and up and running, and we generally want both of those to be Farigirafs. Otherwise we're in kind of a bad spot at that point, but we at least in this case have 1 up and running. So even if they were to get down get down their Gardevoir EX, we have a way of getting rid of it. And that's why I'm really happy that we have the boss in our hand. Because if they get down a Gardevoir EX, we can boss it up. Our attack does 160 at base, which means we can hit for a grand total of 320 damage into their Gardevoir EX and just one-shot it. Here, we're still just going to use the boss. I want to get rid of this Kirlia because they didn't establish another Ralts. And then here, I threw the remaining 30 damage onto their Fezandipity. The reason for this is I wanted to weaken their Fez so they can't just throw it into the active and have it just take a hit. Because at any time, I could actually get down a Munkidori, be able to move this 10 damage, and I think, yeah, because that makes it down to 170. And that's almost enough to be able to one-shot it. So here they get the jellyfish. Realistically, looking back at it now, I probably should have just thrown that 30 damage onto the Klefki, because then this following turn, I could have just gotten down they have the Artisan already. So yeah, I could have used the Artisan, got my Munkidori, and attached for turn, move this 10 damage over to the Klefki, and be able to get the last 3 prizes that I needed within this single turn. But either way, we're just way too far ahead that they're not really going to be able to do that much. We are still going to get down the Munkidori. And then here, I am going to Crispin. The reasoning I'm Crispining here is so that way then we get this other attacker up and running, just in case something were to happen here. So we're just going to move this damage real quick. We're putting it on the Klefki now. And this way, no matter what they throw up there, we're going to be able to knock out that Klefki and be able to get game next turn. So don't make the same mistake as I did. Hindsight being as it is, I definitely should have just thrown the damage onto the Klefki and would have just had game this turn instead of giving them an extra free turn. So here they do go into the Rare Candy Gardevoir, and they have 1 monkey, so they Iono us. There is actually a way that they can come back in this game right now. So they use this Ultra Ball. They do find a Munkidori. So if they have Munkidori plus a Dark Energy, then they can use the Gardevoir, put 3 energy on it, and move the 60 damage from it onto our Farigiraf and make it just low enough that they can one-shot it with the Gardevoir, in which case we're relying solely on our Cornerstone Ogerpon to win us the game, which we still could, yeah, especially since we top deck this Arven. But luckily they didn't have the dark energy to go with the Munkidori, so we win. Alright, so for the second game I'm going to show you guys, like I told you, it's going to be one of the Dragapult Dusknoir matchups. It's going to be that round 3 one. So this one is a close matchup, and as you can see, our hand actually isn't that bad. So we have the Pokégear, and we have the Buddy Buddy Poffin. So we did open up with one of the Milotics in hand, which stinks, but overall it's not a bad hand. We can get both of those down. I want to make sure that we have the second Milotic in deck, which we do. And then I'm just looking to see exactly what else we have. And then we got to try to hit this Pokégear. We whiff. Oh, I hate whiffing those Pokégears. So I'm just going to manually attach to one of the Feebas and then put the cape on it. This way, next turn, I can go into the Milotic and have one guaranteed that I can go into. Here, they Hilda. So if you are on the Dragapult Dusknoir side of things in this match, you're really not wanting to go into your Pults unless you see that your opponent is stumbling, because your Pult is just not going to be able to do damage at the end of the game. So here they do have the Ultra Ball as well, so they're going to be able to go into a second Dracloak. Now, if you are on the side of like our deck, there's a couple things in this matchup that you really have to worry about. You have to worry about the Blood Moon Ursaluna the most, because that does 240 damage, and due to the fact that they're running the Duskull package and all that, they're able to give you prizes pretty effectively and be able to get that Blood Moon up and running really fast. So getting down like double Milotic is huge and very necessary. Along with that, the other worry is these Duskulls, because if they're able to start chaining some of them together, that's a way that they can get a lot of damage onto your Milotics, so that way then they can one-shot it with the Blood Moon Ursalunas. The third card, every now and again you'll see a Dragapult list running TM Devo, so that's something that you got to worry about too. Your Feebas are only 30 HP, so if you do have double Milotic set up, but they have like 2 Dusclops, they can pop both Dusclops, throw the 50 damage on each of your Milotic, and then TM Devo for the turn, and you're just out of the game at that point. So here they do get 1 Dusclops, so I'm pretty sure that they're just going to get rid of this Feebas that is on the field right now. We will be able to start swinging hopefully next turn with this Milotic, because we're most likely just going to Iono. And then here they play the Dusclops on their active, and then they have the Hilda, so they can get a second Dusclops, I think. The other thing that they could do is just get the Dragapult, which they do get the Dragapult. So they will be able to at least start attacking this turn and get rid of the Munkidori as well. They're just going to put the 50 damage onto our Milotic, since that is by far the best target with them having a Dragapult already set up. And then they play down a second Dusclops here. I think that they're thinking about what they want to do, if they want to pop that Dusclops right now. I personally wouldn't. I would try to save it, see if I can find a Dusknoir. But here, they just get rid of that Feebas. They get rid of the Monkey. So what we're really wanting to see here is we kind of want to get another Munkidori down. And we do have the Nest Ball, but here we're just going to boss up their Dusclops. We're going to get rid of that right now, limit the amount of damage that they can do to us. We find another boss's order, which is really big here. We have no problem leaving this Dragapult alone until later in the game, because it's not going to be able to do any damage. So here they find the Badoo. And one of the key things in this matchup, in their case, is they want to try to keep as many Dracloaks on the field as they possibly can, so they can sift through their deck as much as possible to try to find, specifically right now with our board state, they need a 2-card combo. They need Jamming Tower and Blood Moon Ursaluna to be able to get rid of this Milotic that we have on the field. As for us, we need to find a... what do we need? We need a Arven. If we find an Arven, that would be huge. Because with an Arven, we would be able to get a Night Stretcher and be able to get the TM Evo, but they do go into the Badoo to Badoo lock us right here. So this is a mistake that I made, is I'm thinking about bossing, and I really should boss up that Dracloak, but instead I just go for the regular knockout on the Badoo. Both options were correct. It's just, I know how important their Dracloak searching is to try to find those combo pieces. I'm hoping that one of the pieces is locked in their prizes. And at the same time, I'm also trying to get rid of that Badoo, because if I ever draw into an Arven, I can go into my second Milotic, which pretty much can eliminate the possibility of the Blood Moon just winning them the game. So it's kind of a like wishy-washy on which one is the right choice. I think I made the right choice in that current position, but tell me in the comments whether or not you guys think that I should have done the other way. I should have bossed and gotten rid of the cloak. So here they're buddy-buddy poffering. They're just trying to get rid of some of the cards in their hand, just make sure that they have the cards that they need in deck. And then they're just going back into Badoo again. So they're going to Badoo lock us one more time. Here we find a Crispin. And again, we just take out the Badoo. At this point, they have double Dracloak. So again, I was trying to be just all in on trying to find that Arven as soon as possible. So I guess I could have Iono'd right there, gotten rid of the boss, put it on the bottom of my deck. But here, they do finally find the pieces that they need. They get that Blood Moon. They have the Jamming Tower. So they're going to be able to go into it and get the knockout. And that is all of the games that I have for you guys today for this tournament report. And here's the deck list again. As always, I hope that you guys like my comment. Please leave a like, comment what you guys thought about those games, and subscribe for more. As always, I post every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And have good games.